Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to our series of videos about algebraic expansion. In this video we're going to be covering a very important property for algebraic expansion, which is the distributive property, alright? So before we get into what algebraic expansion is and how we do it, we need to be very clear of how this works. Okay, and the distributive property refers to situations where you have a number multiplied to some parentheses, and in this parenthesis you could have two numbers added together or subtracted together. Okay, what this rule says is that instead of doing what's inside of the parentheses first, you can actually, because let's follow the order of operations, right? If we were to follow the order of operations, PEMDAS, always important to remember that. What comes first? Parentheses. So we would do what's inside the parentheses first. If you want more details, check out our video. And that would give us, 7 times 3. We would do that normally. But what the distributive property said is that in a case like this, you can also multiply this outside value to each of the two added values separately. So you would actually rewrite this as 3 times 2 plus 3 times 5. And if you look at it, if you do this, then this would give you 6, correct? Plus 15 would be 21, which is the same value that you get if you, did the addition first, right? If you did the addition first, you would get 3 times 7, which is also 21. So you see? This shows that it works, and I would recommend you to try that in other cases as well, in other examples, if you're not convinced. But this is something that you can use. And this becomes very useful when instead of numbers, you have variable values inside your parentheses, like x plus 4. You see, in this case, you really can't add these two numbers together because, as you see here, we're referring to an expression. And in an expression, your variable is a symbol that represents a value that we don't know and that we will not know because it doesn't have a specific value. It's just a value that will vary. It's just a placeholder, for something that in some situations you could plug in a value for x, and see what would be the answer. But in this case, you just have an expression and you're being able to manipulate it, but not finding the value of x. Because to find the value of x, you would have to have equal something, right? And then you could look for that. That would be an equation. But in this case, it's just an expression. And then to expand this, well, we're going to get into specific expansion in the next video, but to distribute this, instead of, since you can't do x plus 4, what you can do is use a distributive property. Do what you can call chuveirinho as well, shower. Multiply the outside number by the two inner numbers, which would give you 3 times x plus 3 times 4, okay? And this, also to mention, this could also be written as 3x plus, and then 12. Because actually when you have a variable, you don't need to write the multiplication sign. If you have something multiplied by a variable, you can just write the number and the variable side by side. So if you had 4 times x plus 3 times y, you could just write it as 4x plus 3y. Okay, this is something just that you're gonna have to get used to. And same with the parentheses. But anyway, this is the distributive property.